Well, hello again, boys and girls. So we are going to be doing a R2D2 crayon rubbing, but first you gotta make the little box board R2D2 artwork first. So this right here is actually a crayon rubbing, and what I love about this is if you use a black crayon, it makes it look like your R2D2 was frozen in carbonite, just like Mr. Han Solo. So to create this, all I do is take my paper, put it on top of my other creation, and rub my crayon. I'll show you that in the end. But we gotta first start out with this creature right here. Really similar to the box board masks that some of you created during our Recycled Art Week. It's pretty much the same idea, except this time we're going to create an R2D2 figure. So go digging through your recyclables. I have a nice cereal box here. Maybe you have a pizza box hanging around. Whatever you got, dig through the recycling, pull it out, break it apart. I like to trim the edges off of mine so I have a nice clean piece of box board to work with. Step number one, we have to make the base, the background piece for our R2D2 to sit on. It can be whatever size you desire or whatever size you have available to you. So there's my background. Next, we are going to create the body. So the body has to be smaller than your background piece. I'm going to take this piece right here, chop it in half, and then I'm going to hold it up against my background. Is it too big? Yes. So I need to cut it shorter because R2 needs a head. Oh, actually, look at that. If I put it like that, you know what? That almost gives me enough for a body and a head. See? Body, head. So let's go ahead and make this skinnier. Boom. There's a little R2 body. And now we need to make this piece the same size as this one. I'm going to hold them on top of each other like that. And then I'm going to cut like that. So now they're the same width. Boom. Now R2 does not have a square head. No, he's got a semicircle. So I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to cut off a corner in a curve and do the same on this side. Cut off that corner, make it a curve. Boom. Now we've got our R2 body, R2 head. Now what we're going to do is make his little legs on the side. And look at that, I've already got one rectangle. Let's go ahead and cut out another one. I'm going to use my first piece as a guide to make this one the same size. Now these might be a little too thick for R2, so I'm going to make them a little skinnier. And actually I'm going to round the top parts of his legs there. And I'll do the same on this side. I'm going to cut a little piece off. I'm going to cut off the corner in a nice little curve. Do the same on the other side. See? A nice little curve to the top. Okay, so there's his little legs. Now what he needs is some feet. He's got 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. They need to be all about the same size. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to cut a long rectangle out, and his feet shouldn't be probably wider than his legs. So I'm going to take this, measure it, cut it, and there's 1, 2, 3. You'll notice I'm not gluing anything down yet. That's because I'm still building. I might want to make some changes as I go. So that's why I'm not gluing anything yet. Okay, now his feet, I'm actually going to cut. I'm going to change the shape so that they're skinny at the top, wide at the bottom. And all I did to do that was cut off the corners. I could show you with my pencil the line that I'm going to cut. And if it helps you at home, to draw your lines first and then to cut them out, that is a really good strategy. Boom. There's his little middle foot. I'll do the same change on this one. There. Now, what we can do is start thinking about adding those details. Stay still. Adding those details to his little body piece there. Let's go ahead and take this little scrappy do. Notice I'm keeping all my scraps because they can make awesome little details for your robot. I'm going to cut 3 long, skinny rectangles right there for the top part of his body. And then, you know what, I've got this. I wonder, I'm going to put that to the side. He might come in handy later. I'm going to do a long rectangle for the middle. Now here's the deal, boys and girls. You do not have to make your R2 look like mine. As always, you artists have the creative freedom to make any changes and make your R2 look however you want it to look. You can add lots of little buttons. You can have no buttons. Whatever you want. Your choice. It's your R2. I'm going to add an extra button right there. Sort of like a belly button. Now, I need a little detail for the top for R2. And you definitely need to remember to put that little circle part where it's almost like his eyeball and it blinks and it whenever he talks. So that's got to go there. And then I'm going to make an extra little rectangle that goes right at the top. I kind of want to make sure it's the same width. That might be, yep, too thick. So you'll notice I'm kind of holding it up against what I already have to kind of eyeball the measurement. There. Oh, and the little circle. Now this is tricky. I've got to make a tiny little circle out of the box board. It takes a lot of careful turning and holding with your pincher fingers. Your lazy hand, for me it's my left hand, the non-drawing hand, that one gets a lot of working out when you do these types of projects. It's got a very important job holding all of your box board while you're cutting it. And there. So, what to do from here? I've got my R2. You can feel free to keep adding details, but know that you're going to have to eventually stop and take them off. And then you're going to have to start gluing everything down. I'm going to put his head details up there, and then the body details over there. So I just used a glue stick to glue my pieces down to my box board. You can use a glue stick. You can use white glue if you have that available to you. It's kind of important to press and hold and at least count to 5 before you lift up and move on to the next piece. Because remember, glue sticks and the white glue, it's not like super glue. It doesn't hold instantly. So you kind of need to hold it, make sure the 2 pieces make contact, count to 5, and then move on. So I'm going to go ahead and glue the rest of this down, but let me show you how you create the crayon rubbing after it's done. You're going to have to let this dry until the glue is set so it won't move around. And then what you're going to do is get your R2 out, put him down on your table. You're going to have to get a piece of paper and lay it on top. Now, I'm going to use my black crayon again. It's nice if you have the wrapper peeled off. You're going to want to kind of feel around, make sure that your R2 is in the middle of your paper. You want to capture the whole thing. So, here's the deal. Once you start rubbing, you cannot shift or slide the paper because it'll change the image of the crayon rubbing. So watch, my lazy hand is not lazy at all. It's doing a very important job. It's holding the paper down, and then my drawing hand is holding the crayon. And I'm going to hold it nice and firmly with one hand, and I'm going to start rubbing the side of my crayon all over. And it's sort of like a little scavenger hunt. You're looking to find all of the edges. This is where it gets a little tricky, because the paper's moving here because I'm not holding it, but it's not sliding back and forth. So you're kind of looking around for all the edges. And when you get to this point, you're going to have to switch hands. Hold it. Don't move the paper. There we go. And switch again so you can keep rubbing all over so that you can find all the edges of your R2 or whatever robot you decide to make. You don't have to do R2 if you want to. You could do C-3PO, you could do BB-8. If you wanted to, you could even do like a little person. You could almost do like a little miniature Han Solo trapped in Carbonite. Or maybe you want to do a little self-portrait and you want to create a little Carbonite frozen body of you. I don't know. Totally up to you. But there you go. Remember, when you're doing your crayon rubbing, hold your paper. Don't let it slide around, or else it'll mess up your picture. All right, kiddos. Hope you have fun, and I'll see you next time.